Hello. Happy Monday. It's Monday. Monday. It's kind of drizzly here. I had a lot of errands to run this morning and it never full-blown rain, but it looks like it could be now. When you come on, this is an example of how it will show up. When you join, be sure to put your name in the StreamYard piece so that I know who's talking to me. Every now and then you comment, and on StreamYard, I can't see. Pardon me, why am I using StreamYard? Some of you are curious. I'm using StreamYard so I can stream on multiple platforms, one of which is YouTube. I am still awaiting my approval to be able to stream to LinkedIn, but so far, I haven't been able to just yet. Are we here? Are we coming? How is everyone? How are we? Well, in case you missed it anywhere along the way in the last 8 days, well, this is day 8 that we've been together. I'm Jennifer Takagi. I'm the Chief Encouraging Officer of Takagi Consulting, and I help new managers develop their skills and build their confidence so they can step into their new role ready to play full out. A lot of times when we are promoted into a management role, we don't necessarily have the skills that we need for that. We have the skills we need to be a great superstar employee, right? We're able to do some leadership because we have been a leader. But in the end, there are some skills and some mindset shifts that have to take place for you really to step full into being a manager. And being a manager, it's twofold, manager and leader. You have to be both. It's a both and, not an either or. It's a both and, not an either or. So today I want to talk about core values. Core values. So as the term core stands or, indicates, your core values are the things that keep you grounded, the things that keep you going, the things that give you fulfillment and joy and pleasure when you're operating within that core. And so in exercising, it's a really big deal. I don't think I heard it before like 10 years ago, but all of a sudden they started talking a whole lot about your core strength. Do you have strength in your core? How strong is it? You'll end up falling down. You'll end up with injuries. All kinds of negative things will happen if you don't have a good, strong core. And you also can have like a fluffy belly, which is never good, never good. So your core values are very similar. They're the things that let you know if you're navigating in the right direction or if you have veered off course. When you are operating outside of your core values, you feel it. Like something is just not right. I worked with a gentleman and he was not, hello, Miss Allison. He was not really working within his core values. We dealt with low-income housing and low-income families and individuals. And he really had a deep-seated belief that you should just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There should be no government intervention, do what you have to do. When I really questioned him on it, we got down to the point where if you were handicapped or elderly, then it was okay. But if somebody was not elderly and not disabled or handicapped, then they should not be provided any type of resources. Well, how difficult was it to go into work every day when the work that you're doing is helping low income and handicapped, as well as elderly and families and the whole gamut? How hard is that to go in every day? So part of the struggle becomes, are you still operating within integrity when you have a job or have requirements that don't really fill the whole concept of your core values. They're not being met. They're not being fulfilled. And it can be very difficult. And I've had jobs that I didn't love quite so much as others. And I stayed because one of my core values is stability. That is very important to me. And so I could put up with some of the stupidity and some of the ignorance and some of the, bureaucracy that came with it, because stability was at the top of my list. And when I shared this in a session previously, a woman said something like, well, he should have left, if that was not within his core values. Well, ultimately he did ultimately leave. But sometimes you think it's okay. You think that everything else makes it better. Like, I can go ahead and do this. I don't mind. It's not such a problem. And for me, again, when I was in an environment that was not the healthiest workplace environment, it ended up being that stability. It's still one of my top core values. It's not like the tippy top anymore because I do have stability, but for a long time I didn't really have too much stability, and I stuck with it because I wanted that stability. That stability mattered. People talk about integrity a lot, that integrity is a huge piece of your core values, and do you have integrity or not? And yes, integrity should be one of the top values. I totally agree with that. But then underneath integrity come all different words that you could say are a part of acting in integrity. And so when you're doing core values exercises, it can become very stressful trying to decide, which one do I pick? Is that me? Is that not me? Why is this more important than that? So I'm just telling you, it can be a struggle. I've also heard that people will do a core values exercise once a quarter, because depending on what's going on in your life right then, different things have a higher priority. So I hope you saw that Miss Allison was kind enough to post the core exercise value in the group, New Managers on the Rise. And with the core values, being a leader, being a manager, we just need to know what our top 3 to 5 are. And then we can measure other things against those. Like, am I acting in integrity? Is this working for me? Right? Is this what I need it to be? So on page 2 are quite a few core values. Now, you can go online, you can find different exercises. There might be some words that are a little bit different. That's okay. It's not a problem. It doesn't matter. It's just, at some point, how many adjectives can you really put on a page? A lot. You can put a lot on there. And if you've ever been with me before when we did this exercise, do it again, because it might come out that you have different answers, because things change. Different things come up for different people. So with integrity, sometimes I want to say, let me find a couple, like trustworthiness. For me, trustworthiness falls under integrity. I'm acting with integrity and in integrity if I'm trustworthy. What else? What else hits within integrity? For me, dependability can really hit in there too, because my mom started telling me, I was, 12 or 13, and she started taking some classes at the local community college. And she came home and she had these little mantras. Winners are on time, losers are late. Winners have a full tank of gas, losers are on the side of the road. Winners have new tires, losers have a blowout. It was a mantra. I could have been damaged by it. Maybe. I don't know. But knock on wood, I've only had one flat tire and I've never run out of gas. It's been a little questionable before, but I've never run out of gas. What rings true for you? What rings true for you? I want to give you just a couple minutes and glance through this list and quickly Circle the words that stand out the most to you. You're going to have way more than 3 to 5. It's fine. Go through, circle the words that just jump out off the page at you, because those chances are tied to your core values. So I'm going to set my phone, if I can find it. I'm going to set my phone for about 30 seconds, if I can find the deal. And I just want you to go that fast. Are you with me? That fast. Okay. Ready, set, go. You should have been going all along. Should have been going all along. Do, 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 do. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I love the sound of this charm. Isn't that a cute little timer? Cancel. Stop. Stop. There we go. Okay. So now that you have those, list the ones like the top 10. I think the instructions. Yeah. On the next page. List the top 10 of those. And an easy way to do this is to see if you can cluster any of them together, because I'm trying to see. I broke down a lot of these. Personal development could fall in with innovation, right? If you want to learn how to do something more, if you want to be very innovative on doing something, that could be part of personal development. Excellence can fall under integrity. We have achievement, because that's always a fun one. Like, we like to achieve our goals, right? Set goals, achieve goals. So you might need to cluster them together and list your 10. Once you get your 10, then break those down into no more than 5 and put them in order. Like, what is the most important value that, that's your ride or die? Like, I'm not going to break this core value for anything. If it happens at work, I'm going to quit. Like, what is your number one on that core value piece? And please take time, quiet time for sure, and go back and go through this and look at it and determine, what are my actual top 5 core values? What are my top 5 core values? Then the next step is to look at how your core values align with the work that you do. How do your core values align with the work that you do? It is proven that organizations are far more successful when they identify the core values of the organization and then they share it with the employees. When they share it with the employees. So you had this struggle last week. Allison was working on this. It can be really hard, but again, if you can try to find a way to clump them together, like if it makes sense to put some of these words together, then it might be easier to break it down. But is the organization where you are right now, is it good at letting you know what the values are of the organization, or do you feel like you're just kind of floundering out there? If a company says that giving back to the community is a top core value, but then they refuse to allow employees any time off to give back, that can be a little bit of a disconnect, right? In Oklahoma City, we have the Arts Festival. It usually falls the end of April, and it's kind of like our state fair in September. The rains are going to come because the Arts Festival is here. And there are all different booths at the Art Festival. They're always looking for people to man the booths. Well, our organization came up with a thing that you could fill out a document and you could request permission to volunteer. And I don't remember, let's say it was 4 hours a month or 4 hours a quarter. But people asked if they could volunteer at the arts festival, and kind of like the thought process was, if I volunteer the afternoon shift, like noon to 4, then it'll be time to go home, and then I can just stay at the arts festival, right? And then I can enjoy the arts festival. Well, one of the booths that really needed assistance was one that served beer. And so then the question became, is it really supporting the arts festival if you're selling beer, or working at the beer tent? And it kind of became a thing. And in the end, I believe the arts festival was taken off the list of things where we could volunteer. And then there was big discussion. It finally got put back on because the arts festival is bigger than just a beer booth, right? There is so much more to it. So your organization needs to identify what volunteer activities are acceptable, what are appropriate, what would fit. But if they say that volunteerism is a huge part of their organization and that giving back, that contribution, but then you have to do it all on your own time, that can be a disconnect. That can be a disconnect. So what is it that your organization claims to be a core value, and are they living it? Are they living it? The other thing is, if you know what your top values are and you share them with your employees, then that gives them a whole lot better shot of not disappointing you. Not disappointing you. So along these same lines, there are activities around trust. And what does trust look like? And what are your most important items around trust? And one's reliability, one's openness, congruity, and there's a fourth one, and I never can't remember the fourth one. But I really thought that reliability would be like my most important thing. Like, reliability is really there. And I think reliability is one of our words on here. Yeah, it is. Reliability. And openness is also in that same column. And I really thought reliability was my number one thing. I wanted everybody to do their job, do it well, which is true. I did. But in the end, openness was more important. Openness was more important to me than reliability. How on earth could that be? Why would openness be more important than reliability? For me, it was, if somebody is open and they come to me and they tell me that there is a problem that they can't solve, there is a deadline they're not going to be able to meet, they don't know how to finish a task or even start it for that matter, then I can step in and help. I can get the people together who know how to do it, and we can put that together and make that work. But if you're not open with me and I don't know you don't know how to do it, and the work doesn't get done, then you've kind of dropped the ball for me twofold, right? Because part of it is you weren't reliable, you didn't get the job done. And part of it is, if you had just been open with me, if you had just been open, we would have found a way to make this work. So when you're looking at your core values, make sure your people know. I mean, I don't know how many times I told them, if you can't get something done, just let me know. We will figure this out. And still, things fell through the crack. Work still didn't always get done. It happens. It totally happens. But if you are aligned with your core values, and if your core values are somehow in alignment with your organization's values, then you've kind of got a win-win going on there. One step further, share with your employees. Share with your employees so they know what's important to you. We all want to make our boss happy. We all want to do the right thing. But if we don't know what it is, it's very difficult. It can become very, very difficult. So the other day, I made an offer for those of you who are interested in continuing your path. Like, if you've gotten enough, awesome. But if you would like the accountability and the interaction to make sure that all the lessons that we're talking about, the lessons that you've learned in the last week, really are honed in and become part of who you are, how you manage, how you lead, so that you are that superstar manager. Please reach out to me or Allison, and we will be happy to hop on a call and talk to you about the program, about what's available, about the payment options, and how you can start working with me. Because there is so much that you have to know and do to be a good manager, that if I had only known then what I know now, right? That whole old story. If I really had known what I was stepping into, I could have done a better job. I could have done better. I could have done more. Personal development only helps in your organization, because the better you become as an individual, the better you become as an employee and as a manager and a leader. So learning the skills is one thing, having them stick is something else. I just recently was having a conversation with somebody. How many times have we gone to an all-day training, and then in the end, we never implemented it, right? Because there was no follow-up. There was no follow-through. There was no accountability. When I wasn't sure how to implement something, I sure wasn't going to ask anybody in the office, right? Because we were all at the same training. And also, I didn't really stand out. We all had the same training, the same information. So if you have questions, I've had several people reach out and they wanted to connect with me and find out more information. Please do so. Put it in the comments. Send me a direct message. I've sent direct messages to everybody who is registered for this masterclass. And it's amazing when they go to your like hidden private inbox that you don't necessarily see them. So I did a post, I don't know, time just flies, either Friday or Saturday, with some information of how to go find these private messages that I've sent you. I want to connect. I want to share with you. I want to find out what's working for you, what's not working for you, and how I can serve you at an even higher, better level. I am going to go ahead and sign off now. I don't see any questions in the chat. I highly encourage you to go ahead and do your core values worksheet. We're finishing a few minutes early today, so you should have a little bit of time to spend on this. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about a life in the day of a manager. A life in the day of a manager. What does your day look like? How can you schedule your day better and get more work done? That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow on our last day, the 4th bonus session. I hope you all can join me. If you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. Put a comment in the chat if you're on the replay, and let me know you were here. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. We are here to serve you and provide the most information that you could possibly need. I'm Jennifer Takagi, and I'm going to sign off. I'll connect with you tomorrow. Have a great evening.